Think about it. I just turned a $15,000 Duramax into probably a $25,000 Duramax. Very cool. What a win. This is a huge win for us guys on the channel. What is going on, everybody? Again, thank you so much for stopping by at the channel. We're going to go ahead and give the Cummins a rest for now. Oh, we'll get to her again soon, but it's just me. So, welcome back, LMM Duramax. This is the 07.5 Chevy Silverado. This is a beaut. I love this truck. It's rust-free. It's from Kentucky. I got a really good deal on it. Actually, I purchased it from my buddy down in Indiana. Now, if you're new to the channel, really quick, let me explain what happened here. Dylan purchased this truck down in Kentucky and drove it all the way up to Indiana. And then come to find out the coolant pressure was building excessively. As a matter of fact, the upper radiator hose actually exploded and coolant went everywhere.
It's a really nice truck, so you guys will just have to wait and see if we pick it up, and yeah, enjoy. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This thing is sweet, but I've never owned one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty pumped about it. This thing is awesome. It drives so nice. 2 days later from the last time we talked, made it home, good with the truck, and I'm in love with it. But it has blown head gaskets. Because I got home and I found out that was loose, and I didn't think nothing of it because the coolant's clean in this thing. It doesn't have hardly any exhaust gas or anything like that in it. At least it didn't look to be that way. But if you tighten that cap up, then it will make excessive coolant pressure. You can let it sit for hours after you shut it off, and this radiator hose right here will stay rock hard. The first time that I drove it with the cap tight, it blew out of this radiator hose right here, all over the motor, all over the firewall, and that's why it was just always strategically left a little bit loose to relieve some of that head gasket pressure. So we're not also 100%. I have someone that would be interested in buying this, and obviously they know that the head gaskets are blown on it. Anytime if you guys go buy Duramax, look at the coolant. Don't meet them somewhere like I did where it's hot, because obviously when it's hot, this radiator hose is going to be hot. It's going to be hard. You know, right now, since I have the cap loose, I can flatten it. But if I had that thing tight, this radiator hose would be rock hard. The guy that sold it to my buddy Dylan loosened this cap right here. Said the truck was good to go, runs perfect, no issues. Dylan bought the truck. Everything was good to go. The truck made the trip perfectly, no issues. When he brought it home, he popped the hood and noticed that this cap was loose. We then tightened it, drove this truck to work, and then what ended up happening there was this hose right here became rock hard, and eventually it actually blew out. Like coolant actually started leaking out over here. I know how frustrating this could be. He called me up, he was very upset about it. I would be too. But here's the thing that really puzzles me. Has head studs. It's already been done. Who knows, the injectors were probably already done too. Not that that means anything, but there's been some motor work done here. But here's what doesn't make any sense to me. He called me, he said, hey Josh, do you want to buy the truck? I said, yes, absolutely. I went down there with my trailer, picked it up. You guys probably saw that my LBZ took a dump on me on the way to Michigan. So then what I did, took this Duramax off the trailer, then took my LBZ, drove it on the trailer, and made the 4-hour drive north with this truck with blown head gaskets, hauling the 7,500 to 8,000 pound Duramax. I don't want to draw the story out, but yes, it was a Facebook deal that went south. Nutshell, guys, this truck pulled this Duramax actually better than that truck pulled this Duramax. I had zero issues. Yes, I loosened the cap so we didn't have any excessive pressure, okay? But the truck ran beautiful. It ran perfect. We didn't have any issues. But just a rundown, if you're new to the channel, you didn't know that story, that's what's going on with this red truck. And I have some huge plans for it. Well, I'm a little skeptical now. Is it really a head gasket issue? We did the chemical test. There's no excessive gases getting into the coolant, so we know that. I also did a pressure test. And yes, we are losing pressure. I did notice that. The thing that I did is I replaced that cap with a certified GM cap, the coolant overflow cap, because I know that's usually a problem. That wasn't the issue. Then I replaced the thermostats. That wasn't the issue. What got me thinking, I have parts on the way for this truck. I'm gonna be doing a lot of motor work to this thing. So while we're at it, I decided to do a radiator, okay? Now, reading the comments, and you guys made a lot of sense, you guys said that the radiator could be plugged. That could be an issue. And it makes sense. If the radiator is plugged, it will build excessive pressure in the cooling system, and it will indicate or look like it has suspected failed head gaskets. You know, this is just experimental. I have a lot of trucks. I'm just doing this to educate myself as well as you guys. But in today's video, we're gonna go ahead and install, this is beautiful by the way, this is an aluminum radiator. This is actually your transcooler, it's built into the radiator.
And it looks like this construction right here, it won't fall down, which is pretty cool. So I have a drain valve right here for the coolant, and look at this weld right here. Mishimoto makes a very good aluminum radiator. So in today's video, we're gonna go ahead and remove the radiator and we're gonna install that aluminum one. If you don't know, I started a new YouTube channel. It's gonna show you guys exactly how to do this stuff. So link in the description, make sure you subscribe. We're doing how-to videos on that channel from now on. Anything and everything that I wanna post is gonna go on that channel. Now, not to confuse you guys, this is my main channel. I'm gonna be showing you guys my builds and taking you guys along the journey as we continue to document this stuff. Stay tuned, guys, because we're gonna go ahead and pull this radiator. I'm gonna show you the before and after difference because a lot of this radiator is actually made out of plastic. So the new hose is on. I'm gonna take it on a test drive. It would be kind of funny though if that was a problem, huh? Let's do it. Guys, I've been driving for about 20 minutes now, and it hasn't even gotten to 210 yet. Very interesting. I'm gonna drive it a little bit more. I'm gonna beat on it a little bit. I gotta get this temperature up, but so far so good. It's kind of weird. I'm a little puzzled. A little crack in an upper coolant hose would do that. I don't know, it might have fixed the problem. I'm gonna keep driving it. I'll keep you guys updated. This would have already leaked out, the overflow. Very interesting. And usually I'd see a bunch of coolant right here. Maybe I should take it on a longer test drive. Alright guys, so stopped at the truck stop here, and I've been driving it for a while. I've probably been on the road for about 40 minutes now. I haven't had a single issue. Usually when I'd get on it, there would be coolant all splattered on the side of this truck here. On this side right here. This is the cap. This is the new cap. Tight too. Very tight. No losing coolant. Everything is checking out. Very interesting. Brand new AC Delco upper hose. So I have it back here in the driveway, and this hose is still pretty tight. I just turned it off though, so I mean naturally it's going to have pressure in it when you turn it off. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just let it sit overnight, come back out here the very next day, and if that thing is still rock solid, then I'll put the fancy radiator in there. Quite honestly, it's probably not the radiator, but then again, it could be. So if that doesn't work, we're gonna go ahead and pull the cab and do the head studs. Let's get it to the next morning. Here we have it, guys, the old versus the new. And really quick, I want to talk about that since we have it here. Now, you guys did see in the beginning of the video, we explained about why this is so beneficial, the all aluminum radiator. Of course, there's no plastic, as you can tell. This is all plastic right here, and this is very prone to cracking. You know, I talked to Ryan at Ryan's Diesel Service about this whole project, and he told me that he takes in a lot of service work with guys that have cracked radiators. And I mean, it's obviously proven right here that GM should have thought of this before they use plastic. Now, this truck does have 200,000 miles on it, so I'd imagine this has never been serviced, but all these cooling fins right here should have been cleaned. If you guys have a Duramax, you guys don't plan on upgrading it, I highly recommend that you take that power washer. Don't go right into them, of course, because you're going to bend those fins and it's going to lessen the cooling for your engine. Stay kind of far away and clean all that up. Merchant Automotive actually did a really good YouTube video on how to clean the cooling stack. So I will leave a link in the description where to pick up this. It's actually on the HSP Diesel website. Very good stuff. Yeah, a little pricey. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not too sure if this is gonna fix our pressure issue. I highly doubt it. Make sure you watch till the very end because we are going to install it. We are gonna put coolant in it. I'm gonna go ahead and bleed the cooling system, make sure all the bubbles are worked out. We're gonna go ahead and take it on a test drive. And if this fixes our overheating problem or our pressurized cooling system issue, then we may not have to do the head studs, which would be awesome. If not, I'm pulling the cab. Doesn't really matter because we're gonna be rebuilding this truck anyways. So let's get after it. Now before we install this radiator, make sure that you switch everything over. So go ahead and take off the fittings. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and set our clips in right there. If you set the clips in, all you gotta do is just plug in the transcooler lines instead of having to put the transcooler lines on and then put the clips over. So already pre-game, just have those already in there ready to go. So you just pop clip them in. This fitting right here is a 32 millimeter. Also go ahead and switch over your bushings right here, your rubber bushings. Take them off this. And it should clip right in. So you're good to go there. Next we're gonna go ahead and install our overflow hose to the radiator. Like such. And install those pop clips as well. Go ahead and put this bracket on here that holds the cold air intake system. Something that I figured out here. So on the passenger side intercooler right here where the hose connects, what I ended up doing is cutting off that junky plastic thing that goes on the end of it because it would not couple to the end of that. Now I'd imagine with a upgraded radiator, you're probably going to want to install something upgraded like a Mishimoto radiator hose, like a lower hose. It's probably better to do that. But these are very prone to failure. I'm only doing this temporarily because guys, you know I'm pulling the cab on this truck. We are going to upgrade that, but I was kind of hoping that this would clip right on, and it does, but I don't want to chance it because it was leaking very slowly when I put the water in there or the coolant. So, but again, a little trick, a lot of Duramax guys actually do that. Just take a razor blade, cut this thing right off, and just attach the hose with a clamp, and you should be good to go. A lot of guys actually put 2 clamps on it just to make sure that it's on there correctly. Now, if you're just installing a new radiator and you have this flange right here, it's already on there, you don't have to worry about that. Hey guys, so here we go, our final moments. Let's go ahead and take this LMM on a test drive. It would be a miracle if the radiator was the problem and I didn't have to do the head stud job. That would be pretty cool. All right guys, so we just brought it home. I turned the truck off. It's been sitting, oh well, it's been sitting for about 5 minutes now. But I'm really excited because let me show you this. So basically, every time I do this test, I squeeze this hose, and as you can see, it's only been sitting for 5 minutes, but you see that squeeze, right? Before, you hit it and it's solid, it's rock hard. That was before. Now, of course, that's with the new radiator. Before, it was just super hard. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and hook up my pressure tester to the overflow tank, and I'm gonna see if there's any leaks in the system. That's what I'm gonna do now. If there is, then of course we have other problems, but if it's holding pressure, I think I'm good, guys. Before I jump ahead of myself, I read those comments and you guys were telling me that the radiator may be plugged up and it's what's causing the pressure. So if that's the case, I just got a Facebook market deal of a lifetime because I paid nothing for this truck because it had suspected head gasket issues, even though the truck was already studded. So I think I'm in luck, and it's good because I have a lot of parts en route for this LMM Duramax, and I can't wait to get these videos out to you guys because this truck is going to be so awesome. I can't wait. All right, guys, here we go. So did it off camera, and I pumped her up to about 15 PSI. And we have no leaks in the system. Before we did. So I'm getting a little excited, guys. It's been about 10-15 minutes and it has not moved. The needle has not dropped. We're losing no pressure in the cooling system. We are now. Here's the deal, guys. I'm gonna go ahead, fire this truck back up. It's kind of late tonight, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a nice long drive, okay, maybe an hour. I'm gonna bring it home. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. And then in the very next morning, so watch till the end of this video because we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to the very next day. I'm gonna come back over here like I normally do, like every day I drive this truck. And I'm gonna grab this hose and squeeze it. If it's doing that in the morning, guys, we're good. Guys, we are back. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this truck off. by the way, the engine temps were running cooler, which is kind of neat. All right, well, first of all, I wanted to make sure it's not leaking, especially where I cut that hose. It's holding, and again, guys, I'm gonna replace it. That's just temporary for now. But, look at that. Nice and squishy. Last time it didn't do it. And it's holding pressure. So we know that there's no leaks in the system. But just like I thought, not hard, not super hard like it was. Let's go ahead and get into the next day. I'm gonna come back out here. I'll have the hood popped. And you're gonna see this with me, guys. If it's rock hard, then we got issues. All right, let's jump into the next day. All right, guys, it's the very next day, and this is the first time that you're gonna see this with me. Hood's in the same position. Truck has not been touched since yesterday. Here we go. Very cool. What a win. This is a huge win for us guys on the channel. I just turned a $15,000 Duramax into probably a $25,000 Duramax just from this right here. Let's be honest here. Why am I going to do head studs when I don't really need to? I mean, this is how serious I am. We actually have the head stud kit right here. I'm ready to go. I just need the head gaskets, the Molle Grade C head gaskets, which I was going to order from Ryan's Diesel Service. What's really exciting about this is I can actually use these on the LBZ because, believe it or not, I've never actually done head studs on this truck. I've sort of been waiting to blow the gaskets, but you just can't. Like today, this is one of my favorite Duramaxes after working on so many of them because this is the truck that I've had the less motor issues with. Guys, we are good. This never happens. It doesn't do this. So if I was to pressurize the system again, which I'm not going to do, we beat the dead horse on this video, but if I was to pressurize the system again, we already know that it's holding pressure, but everything is working the way it should. Listen guys, this video took me like 4 days to do. The biggest reason why I didn't give up hope is because when I hauled the red Duramax back to Michigan with this thing with no issues at all, it pulled really, really good. I had plenty of power. When I brought this thing home, I was just like, no way, man. I mean, there's no way that the head gaskets are blown. So I didn't give up, that's the thing. So I'm really glad that we were able to get this done. But the conclusion to this video here is, was it the radiator? I don't know. Could have been. It could have been a coincidence. You guys saw that I replaced the hose, the upper hose. It had a crack in it. Very well could have been that I flushed the system out and I just broke up some of those nasty particles that were blocking some of the passages in the cooling system. That's possible too. This is a pretty cool happy ending here. And now we can move forward with the LMM as well. So stay tuned, guys. I am so excited. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And by the way, make sure you guys head over to my other YouTube channel because I will be posting the radiator install video on that channel. As you can tell, I didn't do that. So that's all the time that we have for today. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.